Coffee with the Summerland Kids. I'm Jericho Wagon. This is Aaron Riggs. This is episode 62. It's July 2nd, and the weather in Summerland today is 60 degrees currently with a high of 78 and sunny. So another freaking summer nice day, 78 degrees. Can't complain about that.
No, you can't complain. That ocean keeps it nice and cool during the day.
Exactly.
I'm missing it because we're looking at about 2 weeks over 100 here.
Oh, wow.
The July
God.
fry.
Right, July fry. Yeah, that's what's up. I guess we're gonna get some sun finally too. It rained sun last night up here. You know, I want to say we've gotten substantial rainfall for into July. You know, last night again. You know, some rain through the evening. God, it's the forecast is supposed to be sunny, so we'll see. I've got enough moisture now where you don't have to really worry so much about because you know sometimes that's a thing when it's all dry and it gets a little bit freaky with.
Oh, I'm losing your audio already again, Jericho.
Let me
come back 2 bars. We need 2 bars of.
I know,
signal.
right? Here, side here. Give me a second here.
The wandering Jericho. He's in motion. He's traveling to a better spot.
I'm traveling to the outdoorsy types. Action. Walking down the hallway.
Yes.
Yeah, and out past the
live stream. We got technical issues, but we deal with them.
Yeah, we rock it out.
Yeah, we got to keep rocking it regardless.
The race car. Yeah, kicking out. Yeah, God. Okay, I'm going outside here.
So I'm not going to complain too much about the heat because been reading on the news and watching the hurricane. Been going through the southern Pacific Gulf or the Gulf of Mexico, hitting landfall on some islands, had some pretty gnarly devastation. I don't know if you looked at that
on
the internet or on the news.
Is that bad? On the audio and the video?
Yeah, well, it's a bit better. I like your background too. It's cool.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, J-Bra's out there in Nebraska. And he called me this morning and said he's going to park it for the day and wait out. There might be some tornado warnings out there where he's at. So he drove yesterday. So he put in 2 full days of driving so far, and I think he's 6 plus more hours of driving still to get up to I think it is. That's where he's heading. So anyway.
Yeah, South Dakota is what you were saying.
Yeah. You know, out there, man, it can get iffy. You know, I mean, those scenarios with tornadoes and twisters and all that stuff, that's the real deal. California ain't got nothing like that, but you know, we do have those mudslides on occasion, and what else? Of course, fires, earthquakes.
We've had a couple of small tornadoes touch down. I mean, nothing like they get in the Midwest there. But you know, we've had a couple of them.
Right. And then we used to see those, which is pretty cool back in the day. I think my dad got a few on camera. That was pretty. Those things touched down out in the ocean. Pretty intense. You know, very interesting.
Oh yeah, with like the water spouts thing. I've seen those on the news. Never seen one in person.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, obviously, just a crazy, crazy weather. Just a crazy weather pattern that just develops and makes it happen. You know, it's, El Nino and all that stuff. I think there's some, like you said, pretty intense. You know, I think they said maybe one was going to hit Jamaica or something like that. It's for those people on those beautiful tropical islands when they just get wrecked. You know?
Yeah, it's I guess in the south of Jamaica
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is
and
where it was.
it's right, and it's early season for them. Like it usually doesn't start this early, but it started early. Kind of like what we're experiencing here. Usually like August or soon season, but it's like it's already here already somehow. So
Yeah,
that's
we had a little break of heat in June, and everyone was saying it was kind of early for the heat wave.
yeah.
And then on the radio yesterday, the lady's like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. 114 degrees is what they
Uh-huh.
were forecasting. I guess for either I think the
Wow.
4th of July was the big heat hottest day, either tomorrow
Right.
or the 4th.
Wow. Yeah. It's getting warm now here, and it's a beautiful sun over the mountains, but it's gonna be warm. It's gonna dry up a lot of that, um, at least, or just make it really sparks the growth, like you said. It's growth happens after all those rains. Just in terms of the even the grasses, the native flowers and native plants just blow up from.
Oh, absolutely. My garden is just going crazy. I soak it down at night. Is
Oh, nice.
Since the heat wave, we soaked it down this morning too, real good, and it's
Okay.
just been
Okay.
blowing up and just been like, woohoo! We are going. We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. That's good. That's you. Give it some water in the evening, and then give it water again in the morning, because that way it really keeps that. It probably keeps the plants cool, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In the midday, sometimes I'll go out and water. Definitely, got to check the chickens and give them some extra water. I wet down the ground and give them some puddles, so at least the ground kind of has a cooling effect. Um,
Right.
the,
Wow.
the cats
That's
go out
cool.
and they just lounge around. They find a shady spot and we let them out in the morning so they get to run around and prance around in the morning. But by noon, I try and get them in because it's just so hot.
Right.
It's just so hot.
Wow.
Um, and
That's
I think they're
incredible.
starting to realize it because I got a little bell on the door and I ring the bell and they seem to come out from
Okay.
their hiding spots right around 11 or 12 when it starts getting really warm.
Okay. Okay.
Before the afternoon, the hottest part of the day is probably around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So I
Wow.
like to keep them inside.
Yeah, that's smart. That's cool. I like the other day. Our cat Happy got out, and it was during like it wasn't a heavy rain, but it was definitely a little rain for sure. And I think he spraying him with water the whole time. So so he was having a hard time up on the mountainside, hiding in the brush and running from brush to brush. In his mind, I think he's thinking they're spraying me with water, and but then it's like they want to catch me, and they're spraying me with water. Forget this, man. Like playing hard to get for like an hour plus, and
Ah,
finally I got him. Yeah, yard, and he was doing the howling, the big
the
meows.
skills
Uh,
of a cat wrangler, huh? You got to have a
yeah.
little bit of skills, not necessarily, fast. You kind of got to outsmart them. What I did
I
is I
know,
got a
right?
little fishing pole,
Oh
right? And
wow.
so I
Yeah.
strung it up with just some cotton string and tied just a little ball of string at the end. And they
Okay.
seem to, their instincts, they're just like, oh, I got to go get the string. And so I can usually lure them out from under if they're hiding underneath the truck or underneath the car, hiding
Wow.
somewhere where it's hard for me to get. And they'll come right out and get it. And then they'll be like, what? Whoa, you caught me. How dare
yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Happy was looking at me like, I don't even know you. All I know is I'm the vibe I was getting. So, but usually he's like very, happy-go-lucky guy and all that. But when a cat's in a rainstorm, is not their jam. They don't like the wet.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. So
So,
your cat's an
anyways,
indoor cat mostly, or does he get
no,
out sometimes?
a little bit. I let him out on into the garden and keep an eye on him. Like the only way to really keep cats for long periods of time and years is or mostly because there's so many. I want to say there's a little fox down the street not too long ago. So the predators are probably with them in terms of like what can they catch, and I would think fairly easy prey for those guys.
Yeah,
Um,
we don't
so
necessarily have that many predators, but we do have some dogs sometimes that get out of the yard and roam up and down the
right,
street. The other day, my poor cat, he was hunched down under a bush, and the neighbor, his dog was out, kind of looking at him, and it's a funny dog because he'll come up to the owner like, oh yeah, okay, but then as soon as he gets within arm's reach, he takes off running. He's like, no, I'm not coming inside, I'm out. No, and he'll run, and the owner, he'll chase him around the block. Sometimes it's kind of funny, but yeah, the cats, um I try and keep them in the backyard, keep them inside. um
that's
but it's,
cool.
it's nice in the summer because I don't have to clean their litter boxes much. In the winter, they're pretty much inside. The rain, they don't want to go outside. But in the
Yeah,
summer, they like to go outside. First thing in the morning, they kind of rush for the door, like,
yeah,
"Oh, I got to go! I got to go outside and go to the bathroom." It's kind of funny,
yeah. No, for sure.
Cats are
Yeah,
awesome. I love my cats.
I know. I feel the same way about our cats too. Because I had years and lost. I did bring one down with me originally in like '04. Actually brought him up to Colorado and had him stay with mom. It's because it was just a country cat, city cat life. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, the
So
city cats definitely a little bit different than the country cats. Funny
yeah,
thing, I was at the Home Depot yesterday getting some bug spray and some a bag of soil, and there's a
right.
cat. There's a big orange cat,
Okay.
and the lady's holding him, petting him. I'm like, oh, a
Uh,
Home Depot cat. She's like,
yeah.
yeah, him and his brother live here, and I guess
Oh,
they keep cats at the Home Depot um,
oh, classic.
to keep the pests down, keep rodent
That's
control or something, I imagine.
awesome. That's cool. They're like working working cats.
Yeah, they're working cats. They're
It's
working cats.
rad.
They're nice, pretty little orange cats, real friendly. He let me pet
That's
them, and
cool.
then the staff was, picking them up and holding them, and he really seemed to enjoy being cuddled. My cats
Yeah.
tolerate it, I guess.
Right. Yeah. They're not as like some cats are. Where they're just like they go into like a limp getaway mode when you hold them. Like, oh man, I don't just let me go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, once in a
Just
while, they both have their times. Like in the morning, the little girl cat, we named her Stormy.
okay.
She sometimes will be just super cuddly and want to cuddle and get the pets, but then if you don't pet her the right way, she'll bite and scratch you.
Wow.
And then the little boy cat, the Manx. So
Uh-huh.
the girl cat, she's a gray tuxedo, and
Okay,
she's
cool.
really slinky, slender, tippy toes around. And then the boy cat's a Manx,
Oh
and
wow.
he's really big. He's just a big boy, and he
Yeah.
thumps around, thump, thump, thump. You can really hear him.
Yeah.
And in the
Classic.
afternoon, sometimes he'll get a little cuddly, and want some pets. Again, if he's not in the mood, he might decide to bite and claw you a little bit. He only bites
Oh
you if he
right.
likes.
That's awesome. Yeah,
And then
cats are
I give him treats. Like sometimes he'll come up and stretch up and touch me on the leg, like, "Hey, where's my treats?" And I'll give him some treats, and he's so happy about that.
that's rad. That's rad. That's cool. Yeah, so I might throw some stuff, some comics I collected on my own, and I might throw some stuff up just as sort of this. I did find a really cool book the other day at the thrift store. 700 bucks, man. Some people have
Seven
it up there
hundred.
for. And I'm like, what the? I'll share it with you just so you can see what it is. It's his name's I think it's a book about an artist, and it was published in 2004. Um, little, light damage on a couple pages, but the pages that are extreme. But the cheapest one is like $350, like 200, and just be like, here in the description, just here's what's up. I almost want to keep it because it's a very inspirational book for me as an artist myself. When you see other artists doing art, even if it is a magazine, inspiration to see what other people have done, and the fact that they had a career and rocked it out, and here's a book that shows their full arc of their career. Or oftentimes museums will put out books in correlation with, they'll make a book about the show essentially that they're exhibiting. So nonetheless, gotta try to get my show on, because I've been a good buyer on eBay. It's easy to buy stuff, but it's another thing to sell it. So.
Oh yeah, you really got to get kind of organized. I
know.
I've done it for a little bit way back in the day, and it started out with just one or two items, and then it got to the point where I'm listing so many items, I got to have an organizational system. So when someone orders something, I know where to find it. I'm not like, oh gosh, I got to look for through hundreds and hundreds of items, to find that one thing that they purchased. And it was really nice because the postman, the post office, the post delivery guy, the mailman, I guess, or mail woman, would drop off. All I had to do was let them know, and they would drop off the packaging, right? So they would drop off those priority mail boxes or whatever they have.
Nice. That's cool.
And then I had a little thing where I would just print up. I had the labels, so I would just print up the labels, stick them on there, hand them out, put them in the. And so you don't have to go to the mailbox. You don't have to do all that. If you get your system set up, you just grab what's ordered, put it in the folder or the box it up, press print, stick the label on, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, no, that is a thing, because I guess printing the labels is key, because they do give you a shipping label. I guess I just got to go through the process like one time with one item, and that way I learn it. Of printing out the label and all that. Like at first, I might have to go to the local first label mate or something like that until I get a printer again. I had one not too long ago, but I'll live and learn. Nowadays, what's cool about those printers is they have Bluetooth in it. Send stuff to print from your phone, which is freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's all set up. The eBay thing it's interesting. Because when it first kind of came out, there was professionals. There was people that would come in kind of like auction or estate liquidators, but they were eBay specialists, and they would list all your stuff on eBay. And it's kind of interesting because you don't realize how much it takes. You got to have your eBay account rating.
Okay.
So if you haven't been a buyer, if you're just starting a brand new account, it might be kind of difficult to sell higher ticket items. So you kind of have to start with smaller items. But once you get known and have a good rating, it's a bit easier. And it could take a little bit to get your rating up.
No, for sure. That's what's up. That's what my friend recommended too. Just said start out with a couple small items, just to get a feel for it.
Oh, absolutely. So, and it's so interesting to do it, and then oh wow, digital money, the internet money is coming.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, just having that again, that this there's the thrill of the buying, and then there's also the thrill of the sale, which is the dopamine hit on that shit. So
anyways, absolutely, absolutely. it's definitely an interesting thing, because I still buy stuff, but I haven't sold stuff in so long. It just keeps collecting and piling up, and
Right.
you know, bookshelves and
Yeah.
storage lockers, storage bins, and
Yeah.
I look at my art supply box and it's like, wow, how did I get so many pens and paints and
Yeah.
different art supplies and
Right.
rocks and trinkets? Because every time I go to the yard sale, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can sell some of these, and I'll buy a whole bunch of stuff and never sell it. So I'll
Yeah.
just stack it up in a pile or a box.
I'm in the exact same scenario, man. Really, because for good solid couple of years, if not 2.5/3, pretty. It wasn't every single day that I would come home with a box of stuff. Um, so, just I have a.
And there's so much good stuff, like George
I
Carlin.
know.
It's like
I
that comedy routine he
know.
does
Right.
about the stuff. You got
Yeah.
to get your stuff, and then you got to get a bigger place because you got more stuff, and now you got a bigger place, so you got to fill it up with stuff. It was like a whole 10
Yeah.
minute routine he did just about stuff.
Exactly. And it's so hard when you look at something, you're like, I want to keep this stuff, and like, oh, the future, this project I want to do in the future. There's always that joke about a piece of wood. Like, I've been saving this piece of wood in the garage for this special. Like 3 years later, here you are, finally using that piece
Oh
of
yeah,
wood. Maybe. Yeah.
it's like me and my rocks. I have so many.
Yeah. That's a nice
Especially the
round
round
one.
ones. I
Yeah.
like nice round rocks. I like
God, that's
shiny
awesome.
rocks, and so I've got a whole box sitting right here, pretty much full of rocks and sticks and different
Classic.
kinds of strings and trinkets. And eventually, I'll make art from it or sell it
Yeah.
or
The
go
round one,
through gold.
the round one's kind of a good for the top like that. Like, I could almost see that round rock you showed me on sitting as it's almost like the size of a billiard ball, almost that round rock.
Yeah, just a little bit smaller. I always think about it as like, oh, this is to be a great sling stone,
Oh,
because
right.
I imagine
Yeah,
story of David and Goliath, how he,
totally.
had the sling. You got to have the right stones. A friend of
Yeah.
mine had. Have you ever seen one of those slings? Ever tried one of
No,
those?
but I think about that kid, Mad Max, that crazy kid with throws the boomerang, right? He's almost like a miniature version of Chaka from Land of the Lost. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, classic. That dude's grown up now. I think he's full a man now, and he actually there's a couple of actors that they pulled from Mad Max, the newest one, Furiosa, but um, is it Frank Miller? I can't remember. I think it's the guy who did Mad Max. Mad Max favorite.
Oh yeah, that's a classic
Yeah,
movie. I think
yeah,
some of those cars are just amazing. Some of those cars they had,
I
and
know. Especially,
it's just the whole movie creation thing is just such an interesting process. If you were down in Los Angeles, so you've probably been to a couple
yeah,
studios. Just how much space and
on set.
equipment, and
I know.
just to make that one
It's
angle,
crazy,
and
dude.
then they have like 3 4 cameras on, just to capture one set and the different angles, one facing at this person, one facing at that
Yeah,
person, so they could swing back and forth. I always thought that process and that whole development stuff was just so cool. So just such an interesting thing.
yeah, I know for sure. And, living down there because they would like whole city blocks. They closed down areas, and of course they put up their signs, et cetera, for the public. And then the next morning, in some cases block off the streets, and then be ready for all the lighting and so much work goes into it. But, guys work long hours. My buddy Yuri works. I think he's putting a lot of time in, so he's got one place to go every day, or at least 5 days a week, whatever they're working. But then when you go on location, like you said, that it's amazing how much time they put in for just one scene for one day, you know?
Oh yeah, there's so much that goes on. Like I was an extra in a movie back in the day, and just the food vendor, just the
Yeah,
fact that you got 100 extras there on set that you got to feed, and you got to feed them all, and you got to get them back to set, and you got to make sure everyone's in costume, make sure everyone's in makeup, make sure all the cameras in our position. And like you're saying, you got to make sure the area's cordoned off so random people don't just show up on the set, and so many
yeah,
things
I
are
know.
involved.
It's a lot of money, and that's I guess that's part of the reason there isn't some at the end, for certain films when they hit well with the public. So you're doing a
Oh
little,
yeah,
your
big
screen's a little,
big money.
big money, exactly. Um, well, cool,
Yeah,
man.
we're both kind of doing
Digital,
the technology
yeah, the
shuffle,
technology shuffle.
the digital technology shuffle.
Times to watch, and it's interesting how our feed, what's happening with us, and not even see what we're seeing. So who knows? I can still hear you on the audio. So can you
Well,
hear
that's
me?
good. That's good. I mean, we'll, we'll soon get a nice studio and expensive internet and expensive
Yeah,
microphones and
exactly.
nice good high definition cameras, elaborate
Right?
backgrounds, and
Yeah,
technology software to do modifications. But for now, it's just Jericho and I. We
yeah,
just want to hang out and talk. It's kind of a good
yeah,
start to the
exactly.
morning. I
Old
appreciate
school.
you, brother, for I had my helper come. He wanted to get started early before it got hot, so I had to get him started. I
Yeah,
appreciate you, putting the time off a little bit this morning.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. Yeah, just happy to be here. Kind of a semi cool breeze. It's like you said, after the rains, it always has a unique, like, and when you have a sunny day after the rain, it's like, what a blessing, you know? So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it can't be sunny in Summerland every day, even though it
yeah,
seems like it is.
exactly.
It's one of those places where it's like constantly between 65 and 75 winter and summer. I
Yeah.
I remember even in the winter
I,
it was nice enough to go down to the beach.
oh, for sure. All the time. I mean, I did see a piece of property, which is like, I think one of those little streets that's up high on the hill. It's $1 million, 1 million and change for just, you could build. I think it said it's 6,000 square foot Golden Gate for like one point something million. No house, just
And that's just for the
just the
property?
property. Yeah, but it's a 6,000 property where
Oh wow.
I imagine it's just an empty lot in between the houses that someone conveniently pull $1 million off of a piece of land, which is crazy, and costing that much money. Um, I mean, out here, there was a piece of property. It was, let's say, it was 1.5 or something like that million, but it was like 7 beautiful mountains. But Summerland, you just get a little, essentially, where your house could go, and then I don't know how much it would cost to build a house in California. It probably costs $500,000 to just build something simple and small. So
Yeah, yeah. I know that around here you can find deals. If you go to the auction or the tax lien for $1,000, $1,500, or buy it, already hooked up to the water and
wow,
sewer and everything for around 15,000. So you're looking at, a
I
100 times more
no God,
for just the same little
right?
plot.
Exactly. I think when you guys get past August, September, it starts to cool down a bit, right? August / September,
Yeah,
October.
yeah. It's cooled down towards the end of August, September.
It's something to look forward. I mean, we're like on the upswing of the summer right now, right? We're like into the heat. Yeah. God.
Yes, definitely. It's fun because we get a rainy season here back on the coast. You really get maybe a couple days of rain unless it's a stormy year. Then you get a couple weeks. But there's actually a full season once it kicks into winter and spring. It's rainy quite a bit,
Yeah.
and it's a lot different. It gets cold at
Yeah.
night in the
For
winter, and
sure.
so I'm glad I got a heater.
There you go. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah. Well, cheers to another good show all the way to the end. Yeah. Yeah. It's Tuesday.
Awesome,
Have a great
brother.
day. July to the 4th of July. We'll see you mañana.